everybody, welcome to felixstowetv.co.uk. My name is Stuart Ackers, and in front of me you can see I've got 3 newspapers, a script, a sound box. I've also got an energy drink, a mobile phone, and what looks especially like an old-time radio, but it's just set dressing. Must be time for the top 10 show. Right, for the next half an hour or so, I'll be taking you through what I thought was 10 of the best news stories over the past week. Some odd, some plain strange, some which will make you think, how the heck did they get away with it? And others which will think, thank goodness they didn't. Also in front of me, 3 of the major news papers that are coming out today. The most popular tabloid on the UK at the moment is the Sun newspaper. I've got that right here. The one is describing itself as the world's greatest newspaper, although I think a couple more would disagree with it. It's the Daily Express in the middle, and here is the East Anglian Daily Times, Suffolk's leading local newspaper. So I'll be looking at them right now before we get on to this, which is the top 10 show, which is coming up after. So front pages of the newspaper. The Sun newspaper today. Front page, illegals guarding Olympics. It makes you want to sound, when you're reading the Sun news, makes you want to put on a kind of Cockney accent like that. Illegals guarding the Olympics. 2 Olympic security guards have been nicked as suspected illegal immigrants. One was due to be a supervisor for G4S throughout the games. Okay, this front page news story says to me 2 things. One is the Sun's crusade to bring down G4S and to expose them as a shambles, as is quoted in the Sun newspaper if you read on. And the other one is the Sun newspaper's blatant what would you call it? I'll call it an agenda against immigrants. And that's the other one, that's the second, because it's tying in both illegal immigrants and G4S in the same news story and kind of tarring them both in the same brush. But, as you said here, they have found some illegal immigrants guarding the Olympic Games, and they're not happy about that at all. And inside, you can see the first pictures of the Olympic Park. The back page of the Sun. Lee Westwood, which isn't the rapper turned DJ, he's actually a golfer, and he's ready to become England's first Open champion for 20 years, according to golf's top star maker, which is Pete Cohen, and he's given his verdict and said Lee Westwood could win. After this, just days after the whole John Terry, Anton Ferdinand, Rio Ferdinand, whoever it was, court case, Sam Allardyce has launched a court case against Steve Keane, accusing Blackburn chief Keane of slander in a High Court writ. If you want to read more about that, it's in the Sun newspaper today. But if you don't, then you'll be glad I'm going to do this. Bye-bye, Sun. Okay, Express. One in the middle. Proof we don't need to be in the EU. Britain now exports more to the rest of the world. We are the best. According to the Express, Britain sent a defiant message to Europe yesterday after it emerged. Our trade is booming with the rest of the world. As you read on in the paragraph, it says that we need to be focusing our trade from the EU to outside the EU, Asia, Australia, those kind of areas, China, kind of Japan, kind of Africa, those sort of areas we need to be focusing on rather than Germany, Greece, Spain, France. Get out of that and get into those countries outside the EU where we are trading more than anybody else. And it's part of the Daily Express's crusade to get us out of the EU. Okay, kind of a slanderous, kind of a really provocative picture of Madonna here as well. The night Madonna shot herself in the foot by parading around on stage, half cocked, with a gun half cocked, and with her performance half cocked as well, according to what was in the Express. She didn't put on a very good show. And it was also ended just as the Bruce Springsteen Paul McCartney debacle at 10:30 by Westminster County Council. So you can read more about that concert inside. Turning to the back page again, it's Lee Westwood, and he's been tipped to lead England in the golfing when it hits when the Open starts later this month, early next month. So we could have a first British golf champion in 20 years. Let's hope. Anyway, Express gone. East Anglian Daily Times, last newspaper. Tributes are paid to a teenage golfer. They're all about golf. It's that time of the year, but it's a very sad news story. Sam Jaggard died when he was in a car collision that left 3 others seriously injured and killed another young passenger. That's the main news story here, with including a picture of Sam there, and an exclusive interview apparently with Nick Clegg saying that he could dump the Tories at the next election and even form a coalition with Labour in order to fill a hung parliament, if there is one, in 2015. You heard it there first. Okay, in the back page of the East Anglian Daily Times sport pages, Scott Loach is back where he belongs, in Ipswich Town. That's right, the 24-year-old goalkeeper completed his medical and will today, which is the 19th of July 2012, which will date this show very nicely. And he will sign a contract with Paul Jewell's Ipswich Town for £150,000, which I wouldn't mind because I've got a credit card bill going out of the stratosphere. Anyway, East Anglian Daily Times done and dusted. Those are the newspapers today, but if you stick around for the next 25 or so minutes, I'm counting down 10 other news stories that have made me smile, made me gasp, or made me chuckle just a little bit, and hopefully they'll do the same to you too. 10 to number 1, this is the Top 10 show. Okay, number 10. A social worker who advised people on how to claim welfare payouts dishonestly claimed nearly £38,000 in benefits herself, a court has heard. The social worker advised people how to cheat the system and cheated it too. Jacqueline Izzard made the claims despite owning 2 Lowestoft properties, one in Normanston Drive, the other in Alton Road. The 56-year-old admitted evading paying council tax to Waveney District Council by deception and obtaining income support by failing to declare she had capital in excess of the prescribed limits. She was given a 12-month prison sentence, suspended for 18 months, placed on supervision by the probation service for 18 months, and given a 4-month curfew between the hours of 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. Sentencing her at Ipswich Crown Court, Judge Robert Overbury said the offences had been committed between 2003 and 2008 and had involved a benefit overpayment of £38,000. However, he said Izzard had a number of health issues and had been diagnosed with bowel cancer, angina and depression. He said an aggravating feature of this case was at the time of the offences she was advising others about how to obtain benefits. Izzard is currently in remission from cancer and is said to be deeply sorry for what she has done. She has been repaying the money at the rate of £66 a week since last year, the court heard, and the proceeds of Crime Act will be held against her later on in the year. So that's number 10. She didn't get away with it, but yeah, I've got to feel a bit sorry for her because she does have cancer. She's in remission, but my mum has breast cancer, and so I know what she's going through. My mum has never ever claimed benefits dishonestly, but the rest of it, depression, cancer, I know what this woman's going through, so I refuse to pour scorn on her. I just feel sorry for her. Number 9, 2 teens have been charged after trying to enter Latitude 2012 without a valid ticket. 2 teenagers this week were charged after being arrested at the pop festival Latitude for trying to enter the site without a ticket. The 2 18-year-olds were detained on suspicion of obtaining services dishonestly and arrested at the festival site on Friday. James Dowsing of Browning Close in Romford, Essex, and Jake Nolden of Lulworth Drive in Romford, Essex, again have both been charged with obtaining access to the Latitude Festival by a dishonest act. This time, it's making payment without making payment for an entrance ticket. Dowsing has also been charged with theft and possession of cannabis. Both men are due to appear at Lowestoft Magistrates Court at the end of this month, July the 31st. 3 16-year-olds from Brighton were also arrested on suspicion of theft at the 3-day event, and they were arrested this morning and are currently in custody at Martlesham Police Investigation Centre. A Suffolk Police spokeswoman said that so far 30 thefts from the tents have been reported and 7 thefts from person incidents at the festival this year. During the weekend, 3 men were also arrested in connection with drugs offences. These included a 22-year-old man from Aylesey in Bedfordshire who was arrested on suspicion of MDMA, which is ecstasy with intent to supply. He has now been bailed until August 17th and no doubt awaiting a prison sentence for that one. Number 8. Okay, this is local, but it's not necessarily good. At the port of Felixstowe, we get all sorts through, being smuggled in, And this week, it's dangerous phone chargers that have been seized at the port. An importer has been ordered to shell out thousands of pounds for attempting to import dangerous electrical products. An import of £40,000 worth of unsafe and non-compliant chargers and adapters seen here was seized by Suffolk Trading Standards at the port of Felixstowe, and the products were all submitted for testing, and it was found they did not comply with safety standards and were unsafe. Last week, the importer pleaded guilty to attempting to import the dangerous products. The importer was fined £180 and ordered to pay £1,325 in costs. The products were then destroyed by the Trading Standards, and the importer was charged a further £1,598 for the privilege of having them destroyed. Officials at Trading Standards believe that this seizure will act as a warning. The importer has since been prosecuted by Manchester Trading Standards after it was revealed that their products were still being sold by him. So, bad boy. Learn from your mistakes, boy. Grow up and stop importing illegal stuff. Okay, 7. This is someone that I'm glad the police didn't prosecute, because you hear these stories of have-a-go heroes, and then they ended up getting prosecuted themselves, either through excessive force or through detaining someone illegally. But this time, police are on the right side of the law, the good side, as they should be. A have-a-go hero has been praised by a judge for helping capture a would-be car thief in Ipswich. Now listen here, it's a little bit long, but I'm taking you through a journey of what happened on that day. A have-a-go hero was commended this week for capturing a man after hearing a woman's screams as he tried to steal her car. Neil Sharman was awarded £300 for his bravery after pursuing Kevin Clark and detaining him until police arrived following the incident in Ipswich town centre. Jailing Clark of London Road, Ipswich, Judge John DeVoe, told the town's Crown Court, "This is a very public-spirited action, and I think he should receive a high sheriff's award and a certificate of commendation. And these days, I think any sum below £250 is insulting, so I will say £300 to be awarded." The incident occurred around noon on February 13th. A woman had parked a Honda CR-V in the Cromwell Square car park and was about to get out of the vehicle to buy a ticket when Clark jumped into the front passenger seat. The 47-year-old demanded the woman hand over the car keys. When she gave them to him, he pushed her out of the vehicle, causing her to hit her head on the door. Clark then attempted to clamber from the passenger seat to the driver's seat and put the keys in the ignition. The woman tried to get back into the car to grab her handbag from the passenger side, and the struggle continued. Mr. Sharman heard the shouting and saw Mr. Clark running away. Prosecutor Andrew Jackson said a chase then ensued, during which Clark pushed over some wheelie bins in an effort to prevent Mr. Sharman capturing him. Undeterred, he continued his pursuit and grabbed Mr. Clark. Mr. Sharman, with the assistance of 2 other men, walked Clark back to the car park where he was held until police arrived, and Clark was sentenced to 4 months imprisonment for common assault and a further 2 months to run concurrently for interfering with a motor vehicle, and he pleaded guilty to both offences. Now that number 7 story is worthy of a low-budget or Guy Ritchie film in which he himself and maybe Vinnie Jones or someone of that ilk played the thief, and that I can see that in a movie coming up. But it probably wouldn't be, but that's a good script to start with. But that's a good have-a-go hero. Number 6 here. When will they learn that no means no? Costa Coffee, Southwold. The two goes hand in hand as bird flu and being healthy. No means no. Southwold doesn't want Costa Coffee, but Costa Coffee wants Southwold. He keeps wanting it, and Southwold keeps saying no. It's like a bad date that won't go away and keeps harassing you. A long-running battle over plans for a new coffee house in Southwold have taken a new twist after the national company behind the scheme resubmitted its application less than a month after it was rejected. Campaigners condemned Costa Coffee's move as corporate arrogance and vowed to fight against plans to open a branch in High Street, again in an effort to protect the town's unique character. On June the 19th, Costa's application was turned down by Waveney District Council's Development Control Committee, to the delight of dozens of Southwold people who attended the meeting at Lowestoft Town Hall. But in a letter sent to the District Council's planning team, estate agent Savills, representing Costa Coffee, argued that the increased competition caused by opening a new branch was not a planning issue, and claimed an outlet would complement independent retailers and employ local people. They have urged the council to reconsider its decision to refuse the application or face a potential appeal. The planning application for change of use faced 97 objections before being turned down by Waveney Councils last month, despite being backed by district council planners. So who's to say? In August I could be doing top 10 show number 24 and I could be saying again that Costa Coffee's been turned down. But hey, I'm crossing a bridge that hasn't been turned into Costa Coffee yet, so we'll see in a month's time. Number 5. Just like Costa Coffee, it's a blood-sucking parasite, but this one has been named after Bob Marley. An Arkansas State University scientist has paid tribute to Bob Marley by naming a parasite after him. I bet he would be proud. Marine biologist Paul Sickle found the parasite off the coast of the US Virgin Islands a decade ago. However, he only recently revealed that he had given it the full biological name of Gnanthia marlii. Sickle said he named the parasite out of respect and admiration for the late reggae legend. Gnanthia marlii is a new species of parasite found in the sea, similar to land insects such as blood-sucking ticks. That's right, Bob Marley, blood-sucking ticks. Yeah, I can see how he got there. Beyonce has also had an insect named after her, the Scapetia Beyonce, a horsefly with a girl behind. So that's putting things into perspective just a little bit, isn't it? Number 4. Just as you need these parasites to breed, you need dogs to breed and cats to breed in order to eat them. A love hotel for pets has opened. Brazil has opened the first ever love hotel for pets. According to reports, Fabiano Lourdes and his sister Daniela opened Animal Mundo Pet, an 8-story building that will contain rooms complete with a heart-shaped ceiling mirror, mood lighting and red cushions, despite dogs being colourblind. Of course, Brazil is home to the world's second largest dog population after the USA with a huge 32 million canines. Fabiano said, "Our market studies showed that people work all day long and they do not know where to drop their pets for mating." He added that the idea for the business came from the many love motels on offer to Brazilian couples who make use of them for romantic purposes. The centre will have a pet fitness area as well as a place where they can celebrate their birthdays. The brother and sister's venture has so far cost them $1 million. They employ 60 people, including vets and biologists, and will sell luxury pet accessories such as Swarovski crystal dog collars, which are on sale for $1,000, which kind of makes me feel that Brazilians and Americans sometimes are kind of stupid with their money if they're willing to do that. Red cushions for dogs that are colourblind. Yeah, that will work. Number 3. Great news, actually. Yes. A man has found his stolen car after 42 years through eBay, proving that eBay is useful for something besides picture discs. A man in Texas has been reunited with his car stolen 42 years ago. Bob Russell's Austin Healey vanished in 1970 when the owner was a graduate student at Temple University. However, he found the cream-coloured car, pictured here, which had the exact same vehicle identification number when it was listed on eBay by a Los Angeles car dealer. Russell was delighted to be reunited with the vehicle, adding that it still runs even if the brakes aren't in the best condition. He said, "We're going to put it back the way it was." Instead of having to bid for his own car, Russell only had to pay $600, which is £390, in impound fees, relying on the local police to find the stolen vehicle report that was filed more than 40 years ago. The car dealer was unaware that the vehicle was stolen and was quick to cooperate with authorities to reunite him with the Austin Healey. Russell believes that the car, discontinued in 1967, will be worth up to £50,000, which is $32,000, with some work, and the vehicle originally cost an amazing $3,000. So it's an amazing markup here, and well done to Bob Russell for finding it on eBay, although one's got to wonder how many times did he type in cream-coloured Austin Healey in the off chance that it would appear. One might think he has a little too much time on his hands and was getting desperate, but desperation paid off. Number 2, talking of which, this woman eats rocks and says they are the ultimate comfort food. Teresa Widener, who calls rocks and pebbles her ultimate comfort food and stores them in her kitchen cupboard, has consumed the average weight of a humpback whale in stones. She has eaten 1,360 kilograms, that's 215 stone of rocks, in the last 20 years. However, the Virginia native, only in America folks, said that marrying husband Jim, she's managed to curb her cravings. She told the Metro newspaper, "Jim makes me so happy, I've started eating less, but everyone has bad days, and when I have one, only rocks can make me feel better. Wider now breaks up larger rocks into more edible sized pieces with a special rock hammer, but prefers ones that are soft and brittle. The mother of two has a bizarre medical condition called pica, which causes sufferers to become addicted to eating bizarre objects which are usually non-edible, such as rubber. They could eat newspaper, they could eat metal, in this case stones and rocks, they could eat wood, sheets of cloth. Pica, if you look it up, it's actually a very interesting medical condition, and one that affects about 1,000 people in the world, and she's one of them. Okay, at number 1, a story that made me smile. It shouldn't have done, it's a theft. But it's what they've stolen, that's the word, that has made me smile. 2 people have been arrested after an attempted toilet seat theft. Yeah. A man and woman have been arrested for attempting to steal a toilet seat and other items from a courthouse in southern Sweden. The attempted theft happened at the town of Kristianstads district court, the local reports, and the alleged thieves cleaned out the courthouse break room, taking tea, coffee and sugar before taking the toilet seats and attempting to make an escape. Mikael Persson of the Kristianstad police told the Kristianstadsbladet, it's in Norway, believe it or not, with a name like that, who would have guessed? He said, "It's been said they had been at a hearing. They clearly thought that what was said was poo." The 2 attempted robbers, a man and woman aged 38 and 24 respectively, were also caught on camera attempting to break into a storage locker. The pair are now being held under suspicion of attempted robbery. Anyway, that is the Top 10 show. I have been Stuart Ackers. Keep it here on Felixstowe TV. Have a wander around the video section. You might find some things that you really like, and you also might find Dee Gould, who's just really great at entertaining people. Anyway, I'll be back hopefully next week around the same time, maybe a bit later, I don't know, barring any unforeseen circumstances. I've recently bidded on a place in Bacton, which is near Stowmarket, and I've been successful, so I could be moving next week. I don't know, but barring any unforeseen circumstances, I'll be here with the Top 10 show number 21, ready to give you another 10 stories, another 3 back pages, front pages of the newspapers of next week, and hopefully I'll see you then. I'm on Felixstowe Radio 2 till 4 p.m. on Thursday afternoons, 3 till 5 p.m. on Saturday afternoons, so join me then for Pop Fever, including music-based Top 10 shows, and I'll be seeing you again hopefully next week. Stay safe, stay inside if the weather's anything like today. Most of all, come and join us again next week. Bye bye.